Hello YouTube, what's going on? I know it's been a while since I filmed. I actually tried to film a couple days ago, but I couldn't get it done because my husband came home and so I needed to start dinner and do all that stuff. So yeah, I just didn't get a chance to really film. I got like 2 minutes into the video and he came home, so I was like, oh well, I guess I'll pick this up another day. But anyway, so I know it's been a while and I've had actually a couple people like, when are you gonna film again? When are you gonna film again? And I'm really sorry, you guys. It's like after I recovered from surgery, it's just like everything got chaotic with school and all that. So but I did have my surgery. So I had my septum removed from my uterus on the 19th of September. My surgeon also checked me for endometriosis, and good news is I don't have it. I do not have any endometriosis of any kind, nothing. So, that's really good. I'm really happy about that. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. And let's see. She actually told me that she was kind of surprised by the size of the septum that divided my uterus, because we always kind of thought, oh, it's just going to be like a little nub, like, it's not going to be like really anything big. But apparently, it was a full-on wall down the center of my uterus. And my surgeon told me that she didn't even make it into my uterus before she could see it. Like because what they do is when you're in surgery, they have you up in stirrups, I'm guessing. And they go in like they're gonna do like a pap smear. So like they use a speculum, they go in, and then they use the laparoscopic tools to go up in and through your vagina up into your uterus. And she said she was like getting up to my uterus, like the entrance, and she could already see the wall, like it was right there. So it basically divided my uterus completely in half. So that's crazy. Because we never thought it was that huge, that insanely huge. So she said she got most of it, and I actually have pictures that I can show y'all from surgery too. So yeah, so now I can't remember what she called it. She's like, okay, so like now you don't have a septate uterus, you have this kind of uterus, but I can't remember what it is. And basically like now it's like it's a normal shaped uterus, but now I have like a little bit of like a nub at the top, like just a little bit from where the septum was. But she said that basically everything is good, healthy tissue. She doesn't see anything abnormal. And she also flushed my fallopian tubes as well. So I had that done during surgery, and she said that both of my fallopian tubes were open. However, my right one, since I was filled with so much fluid with them during the surgery, laparoscopically, they have to use like a lot of fluid during these surgeries. She was like, your uterus was filled with so much. She's like, and I couldn't pump any more in there. She's like, if I did, it would have been dangerous for you. She's like, so your right fallopian tube didn't really want to take the dye. It just kind of like sat there in it. She's like, but I really don't think it's clogged. I don't think there's anything in there. She's like, normally when there is, the fallopian tube is really swollen and it's big and engorged. She's like, and it wasn't. She's like, yours looked completely normal. She's like, I think just all of the liquid that we were pumping into your uterus for the surgery and everything, I think was just really starting to aggravate that fallopian tube. And she's like, sometimes it'll spasm and basically it won't allow the dye to flow through it. So she's like, it's not clogged. I don't see any signs of it being clogged. She's like, and if worse comes to worse, if y'all try to get pregnant and maybe like 3 months down the line you're not pregnant, she's like, come back, we'll do an HCG test or something. I think that's what it's called, or an HSG test. Is that what it's called? HCG is the hormone for pregnancy. So I think it's HSG, which is where they flush your fallopian tubes again, but they do it in an office. And I've actually heard that's kind of painful. So I'm glad that I had it done the first time during surgery when I was unconscious. But she said my left one was full of dye, and I have a picture I can show you. And that one was responding really well. So if worse comes to worse, we know for sure that my left fallopian tube is completely open. But she said she's really sure that my right one is too. She thinks it was just a little irritated from all the fluid in there. So, and it was just like, nah. So, it's whatever. I was going to try to upload my videos of the morning of surgery and the night before surgery, but I cannot get them uploaded into my laptop. Because I did them from my phone and it just it won't do it. I've been trying and I don't know. But basically, the night before wasn't really a huge deal. All we had to do was we had to change the sheets on our bed. We had to change our pillowcases. Our dog couldn't sleep with us, technically. The blanket had to be washed. I had to wear clean pajamas to bed, so nothing that's been worn even for a couple hours. And before I went to bed, I also had to shower with the special soap that they give you at the doctor's office. It's a sterile scrub-in soap, so they gave me a bottle of that. And they gave me 3 sponges to use. So I had to do that the night before. Went to bed. And of course my dog was not happy that she had to be locked up in her cage. So she was barking all night. And finally my husband grabbed her and he went and he slept in the guest room actually. So, oh my God. I'm sorry, you guys. So he grabbed her and took her to the guest room with him where he slept because he had to get up in so many hours to go to work. And I stayed in our room so I could stay in a fairly clean environment. However, when morning came and he left for work, I grabbed her and put her in the bedroom and I just made sure that she stayed above the blankets and I stayed under them. Because I was kind of in my head rationalizing this. I was like, this doesn't really make any sense. I was like, I'm going to have to shower again in the morning and use this soap anyway. So what does it matter what I'm doing tonight? I mean, yeah, I get it. The soap is going to continuously clean you and continue to disinfect you, but I'm going to be washing again with it anyway. So I didn't really see the big thing about it. So she slept in the bed with me and I just stayed up under the blanket and made sure that she was down at the foot of the bed. And she is barking right now. Bailey! I don't know what she's barking at. She freaking hears the littlest noise and she barks. But anyway, so I got up the next morning. I showered using the soap. Again, I brushed my teeth. I could not drink or eat anything after midnight. So didn't have anything to drink, didn't have anything to eat. I was waiting for my mother and father-in-law to get here. My husband's parents are going to pick me up and take me to the hospital. And then my mom and my husband were going to meet us up there. And we actually all pretty much got there at the same time. So, because we had to wait for my husband to get off work and my mom was coming from her house. So, yeah. So they came, they picked me up. They took me to the hospital. And I was in the outpatient surgery side of the hospital. So it was at the very, very back of it. And my mom was super concerned that I was going to be with some rando surgeon in some random building. And I was like, no, Mom. I'm it's still part of the hospital. I'm it's the same doctor. I'm chill. So, I could literally go in for the littlest surgery and my mom will act like I'm dying. She's just but I get it. She's my mom, whatever. So, I went in for surgery. We actually got there early because I really wanted to visit with everybody. And one of the ladies from the front desk was have you all been helped? And we were I was yeah. I was I have surgery at 11 o'clock. It was 9:30 at the time. I wasn't supposed to check in until 10. I was we just got here early so we could all visit. She's okay, well, why don't you go ahead and check in so we can get you back there and hooked up and everything. And I was well, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of why we came early. We came early so we could visit, and then I check in right before 10 o'clock so I can actually visit with everybody. Because I knew that they were going to put me in a small holding room before surgery, and it was going to be either only one person can come see me, or maybe they might be able to rotate, but I was just no, I want to be able to visit with my family first. So the lady kind of got a little pissed off that I wouldn't check in, and it's what? My check-in time is not until 10 o'clock. It's not there was a ton of people in the waiting area where we were taking up seats, there was literally no one there because it was early. There's maybe like 2 or 3 other families there for people who were having surgery. And there were other people who weren't checked in either who were sitting there. So I'm like, are you getting mad at me? Or I don't know, maybe everybody else was doing the same thing we were doing. So she was just getting frustrated because nobody wanted to check in. But yeah, and as soon as I did check in, literally like 5 or 7 minutes later, when I did check in at 10 o'clock, I was pulled to the back by the OR nurse, and they made me change into a gown. And I sat in, one of like the little like reclining hospital chairs, and they gave me this inflated like heated blanket. So it's like hooked up to like tubing, and it's like filled with like hot air. And so it's like a heated like paper blanket or something. I don't know. It was pretty comfortable, actually. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty comfortable. So, and then my mom and my husband and his parents, like everybody like rotated. So like my mom and my husband came and visited me, and then my mom went out, and then my husband's parents came in along with my husband, and my husband just basically stayed with me until I had to go back to the OR. Now, the craziest thing, because I've never had to do this before, and I've like dreaded this of any time I've had to have surgery. I'm like, please do not let that happen. And so I'm probably gonna be like, you're a fucking pussy, just deal with it. But they were like, oh, you're gonna walk to the OR. And I'm like, I'm gonna walk to the OR? I'm like, aren't y'all gonna give me a little something to start making me loopy before I even go back there? And they're like, no, we don't give you anything until you're actually in the OR. And I'm like, so I have to go into the room and see everything and see everybody and then lay down, let y'all get me situated. So I'm like basically going to be building up this nervousness, and then y'all are going to give me drugs. And they were like, yeah, unless you're like super nervous, we can give you something right now. I'm like, I'm pretty freaking nervous, but like they didn't give me anything. But however, the staff was really nice, and they made me feel very comfortable. So it's not like I was like freaking out. I always get very nervous before surgery. I really do. Even though I am all like, yes, like let's do this. Like I'm so down. So many people are always like, oh, I don't want to do surgery. And I'm just like, frick it, let's do it. Like who... But, the only thing that I think I would be like, no, is if it was like my heart or my spine. I'd be a little bit like, no, unless I really, really have to. I don't want to. Because that's very intimidating surgery to me. But anyway, so like I had to walk back to the OR. So I'm like in my hospital gown. They wrapped the heated blanket around me, and I'm walking in my like the hospital socks, and I've got the little cap over my head to hold my hair up and everything, keeping the area sterile and whatnot. But before that happened, my surgeon came into my room and saw me. So did the anesthesiologist, and they talked to me, made sure everything was good. I signed a little bit of paperwork, Then the anesthesiologist, like tech or whatever he is like a certified, I don't know, anesthesiologist nurse. I don't know what his title is. Like I can't even remember it. He was really, really nice, and he made me feel very, very comfortable. He was like, I will shoot you up with drugs as soon as we get in there. He's like, as soon as you sit on the table, I will start pumping it into your IV so you don't have to be all flustered about the situation. I was like, thank you. Like, I really appreciate that. But when I went into the OR, it really was not as overwhelming as I thought it was going to be, because I thought there was going to be a lot of people in there. Because when I had my hip surgery a few years ago, they looped me up and got me, all happy before I was wheeled back to the OR, and I was wheeled back in my bed. But there was a lot of people in that room. I remember even being like halfway in and out of consciousness, and I remember seeing like a lot of people in that room. So when I went in, I was like, there's gonna be like 7 people in here. Nope, I walked in, there was literally only 2, and it was the guy who was the anesthesiologist, like tech, and then it was the scrub nurse, and then the OR nurse who walked me back there. So that's it. So we were all basically just chilling in the OR talking while they got everything that they needed to finish up setting up. So and I was actually talking to them. I was like, yeah, like I'm in college right now to get my surgical tech certification so I can be a certified surgical technician. And they were like, oh, that's awesome. Like actually, like they like asked me what college I went to, and I told them, they were like, oh, like all students come here to our hospital and train. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I was like, so I'll end up seeing you guys again. So I was kind of really, really excited about that, because they were all very nice. They actually made me feel very, very at ease. So then I had to like lay on the table and get comfortable, and they had like a lot of like foam pieces, like one for my head, I think one for like my butt to like hoist it up, to kind of like elevate my hips upward so like my legs could like go in stirrups, I guess, or whatever. And then I laid there and they started giving me drugs. And then I remember them like moving my hospital gown out from under me. Like they didn't take it off me yet. I was not naked yet. But they just like pulled it out so that when it was time to take it off me, they could just, when I was out, they could take it off me. And then I remember going in and out of consciousness. I don't really remember too many people coming in or out of the room. I really don't. And then I remember him saying, you know, okay, like I'm going to give you like the little gas mask thing and I'm going to put it over your face to, you know, help you fall asleep. And I was like, okay. So he did that. And for the first time, I've actually had somebody do that. And I didn't feel like I was suffocating, because normally like the 2 other surgeries that I've had it like put over me and like just held there. And I'm like, I can't breathe. Like I'm freaking out. Like I'm halfway out of it and I'm freaking out. No, I was just like, okay. And like, it was just very gentle. He just set it on my face. He wasn't like holding it. He just set it on my face. He was like, okay, breathe really deep for me a few times. And I breathed in. And then I think I could feel him like, okay, he's going to like hold it to make sure I'm getting enough of it. But it allowed me to like lull myself, I guess, to sleep without feeling like I'm being suffocated. And I think I told them about that before I was even given any drugs. So they probably took that into consideration. Oh, and also one more thing before I forgot. This is another reason why this staff was so amazing to me. Because even though I'm completely fine with surgery, like I said, it still does freak me out. So I asked them, I'm like, do y'all have that machine that like reads brainwaves or whatever it is for when you're put under to make sure that you're asleep? And they were like, well, it's a pretty short procedure. They were like, we have it in the other hospital, but we don't have it here. And I was like, oh. They were like, do you want it? I'm like, yeah. Like I was like, it would make me feel really comfortable. I was like, it would take away a lot of my anxiety if I know that that's on me. And I believe it's called a Biz machine. So they were so sweet. They went to the other side of the hospital, 2 of these nurses, and they got the Biz machine and they wheeled it down to the OR and they brought it to me. And I remember feeling them put it on my forehead, because everybody's like, oh, how do you know they just didn't tell you that and like you were put to sleep and you don't know. No, I remember feeling them put the little thing that they put on your forehead, because it's got like these little like prong thingies on the back side of it. Like it's like if you were to take Velcro, like the little the hard Velcro part, and it's like they like stab it into your forehead. So like it doesn't really hurt, but it's kind of like, ow, like it's annoying. It's kind of annoying. So they like press it into your skin. And I remember seeing the machine like before I went out too, because like I looked over to like my left side or something and it was there and they were hooking me up to it. And then I was out. So yeah, they were very kind. They were very accommodating. And then I woke up from surgery. I can't even remember the kind of pain I felt. I know I felt a lot of discomfort, but it wasn't like I'm gonna die, like discomfort. Like I feel like my period pain is worse than the discomfort I felt, but I was still, they were like, oh, do you want any like pain medication? I was like, yeah. Like I was stoned out of my mind, but I was like, yeah. So they gave me some pain medicine, so that helped put me like also a little bit back to sleep too in recovery. It made me sleepy, but it made me feel so much better. So like when I was actually finally like waking up, I could talk to everybody and I wasn't so like pathetic and waking up and being like, ow, like I'm uncomfortable, I'm in pain, you know, ow. So, you know, so they gave me some painkillers while I was in recovery, and that made me feel a lot better. They just put it in through my IV. I don't know what they gave me. They might have given me a little bit of morphine. I'm really not sure. I forgot what they told me. Let's see. So then after surgery, I went home with my mother and father-in-law, and I stayed with them for like 4 or 5 days. I stayed with them from Wednesday until Sunday, and then I went home. because while I could walk up 3 flights of stairs to get to our apartment, I knew I was just going to be exhausted, and I knew I'd also have to take care of our dog. And I was in no way, shape, or form to walk down 3 flights of stairs every few hours to take her down and go to the bathroom. So I stayed with my mother and father-in-law. She came with me. And they helped care for her while I was recovering, you know, and since they actually live in a house, they were able to just, like, let her out in their backyard with their dogs and stuff, so it was fine. But they took really good care of me while I was in surgery. I always get gifts while I'm in surgery. Like, my husband knows to, like, get me something, like a recovery gift. So I told him, like, I've been wanting this huge giraffe for years. It's like $100 at toy stores, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. Like, they always put it in the window because it's just like this huge stuffed giraffe. And so he actually got that for me. I was so happy. I was like, no, you really freaking got it. And then they also have, like, these, like, pretty big, like, stuffed T-Rexes. I think that was, like, $50 or something. I was like, damn. I was like, you spent so much money on just, like, Jesus. And then he got me a puzzle of macaroni and cheese. It's a puzzle, and the pieces are all macaroni and cheese. So we haven't done it yet, but yeah, I was like, this is actually going to be kind of a hard puzzle because all the pieces look the same. But yeah, so I was really happy when my surgeon came and saw me after surgery and told me that everything was good and that nothing looks abnormal. When I was recovering at home, my incisions were, like, super itchy, like, a couple days after, because they also put those little, like, plastic wrap bandages over them. And yeah, like, I healed. You will bleed after surgery, like, out of your vagina. It will come from your uterus, and you'll have some bleeding like you would on your period. Everybody's different, because some women bleed maybe, like, the first couple days and, like, they stop. Some women bleed very heavily from the surgery. Some don't. Some just get spotting. But you can't wear tampons. You have to wear panty liners or pads. So that's what I did. I just wore, like, a pad. But it wasn't a lot. It wasn't even, like, a period amount of blood. Like, it wasn't even, like, a normal periods amount. So that stopped, I think, after 4 or 5 days. Yeah. And I was actually really nervous to go to the bathroom for the first time because I was like, is it gonna burn? Is it gonna hurt? Like, oh, you know, because, like, you're so scared. You're so scared of, like, any pain. But no, going to the bathroom, like, you're completely fine. You don't feel any discomfort at all. You literally feel like nothing was done up there. Literally, the only pain I had was from her going in through my abdomen to check for endometriosis. That's where I had the most pain. Was because of them going in laparoscopically through my abdomen. So I have a scar underneath my belly button where she actually cut through an old scar that I had from my appendix being removed. So she went in through there, and then I had a little scar to the left side of my belly button. So I only got one new scar out of the surgery, which was that one. So now I will show you guys some of the photos from my surgery. I actually have them here with me. I'm not gonna put them in here because I don't. They're glossy photos, and I feel like they'd look weird if I took pictures of them and then uploaded them. But these are the photos. So let me actually get this situated where, like, you don't see, like, my info. You don't need to see all my info. Anyway, okay. So these are the pictures. So this is the inside of my uterus. So this right here, this is the wall, what this tissue is. This is all the wall that was in there. And then here you can see all those bubbles up in there. That's all the fluid I was telling y'all about. Like, there was so much fluid that they had to flush into my uterus during the surgery that, like, my body just couldn't take anymore. So this is after the wall was cut out. Can you see, like, right here, there's tissue that looks like it's kind of, like, torn and ripped? That is from them removing this. So this is the wall, or the septum. And then this is it without it. So see here, you can barely see where my fallopian tubes are. You can't even tell where the openings are for them. I'm trying to get the glare off of this. Okay. Okay. Whatever. So you can't really see where the fallopian tubes open. But here, now that the wall has been removed, that is I believe this is the right and this is the left. Or maybe this is the right and this is the left. I can't remember. But yeah. So this is how it looks after the wall is removed. You can see the opening to both fallopian tubes. So that's pretty cool. And then I also have one last picture. My husband didn't like seeing this picture, and some of y'all might not like seeing it either. It's not very graphic, but it's kind of graphic. So this is my abdomen. This is the inside of my abdomen when they were checking for endo. Where is it? Okay, this right here, this big pink organ that you see, this is actually my uterus, and then this is one of the laparoscopy tools. And so then, like she said, these are like the fallopian tubes or whatever that you can see. And she was like, there's no endometriosis, there's no scar tissue, no nothing, like everything looks healthy. So, that's pretty much all I know about this picture. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Okay, at the bottom here, can you see this blue, how it's blue right here? Glare, go away. Blue, that is the dye going through my fallopian tube. So seeing the dye through here shows that my fallopian tube is open. This other one, this is the tube that couldn't really take it. It was just kind of sitting there. I think, yeah. So like you can kind of see like some dye back over here, but you can't really see it going through. Whereas this one, you can see it all up in there. So yeah. So that's that. That is basically my insides. I'm glad I got printed photos. That's kind of cool. Because whenever I had my appendix out, they showed me like a little bitty picture after surgery, and that was it. But anyway, so that is what the inside of my uterus looks like now, and that's what my abdomen, inside my abdomen looks like near my uterus. So no endometriosis, no more septum. I may still have like a tiny little bitty nub of a septum, but she said like when I went to my post-op, she was like, you know, because I asked her, I'm like, what are my chances now of carrying a pregnancy to term compared to how they were? She was like, dramatically different. She's like, you're basically about the same as a normal woman with a normal uterus. Because basically with that wall, with that septum in there, I was pretty much guaranteed to miscarry. And not even necessarily because the embryo would attach to the wall, because that's normally how the embryos die in utero, is they attach to that wall and there's no blood flow. So they eventually die and you miscarry. But it basically could have been because the baby would have had no room to grow, because it was basically divided pretty much in half. So I probably would have gotten maybe halfway through pregnancy, and either the baby would have needed to be delivered very early, or I could have miscarried. So that is a big reason why I wanted to have this surgery, because I did not want to put myself through any of that. I did not want to put my husband through any of that. A lot of doctors found that kind of hard to believe. They were like, why not just try to get pregnant and just see how it goes? And then if worse comes to worse, just try again. That's also coming from a lot of male doctors. All these male doctors are just like, you can always just do it again. Okay, like that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to be heartbroken, that my husband's not going to be heartbroken, our family. Like, come on. Why would you do something like that? Why would you go and have a baby if you know you basically have like an 89% chance of miscarrying? Why? Please tell me. Yeah, you could be one of those lucky few who doesn't. And there are plenty of women who have what I had, having a septate uterus, and they don't miscarry and they have beautiful, healthy babies. But I just did not want to take that chance. And after her going in there and telling me what the wall of my uterus looked like, because that was another thing. I've had tons of scans, tons of sonograms and stuff to like look at the inside of my uterus to see how much of a wall is there, and I could never be told. No one could ever tell me like how long it was, if it was just a little nub or if it was dividing the whole thing. So it was very important to me to just be like, okay, if there's a way to fix this, let's fix it. So yeah, so that's why I wanted it fixed, and knowing how long it was, I'm glad I did, because I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have a baby if we didn't do that. So I'm really happy that I did that. And actually, big surprise, my husband and I, we are not supposed to try to get pregnant for at least another 1.5 to 2 years. But after talking, we are actually going to start trying to get pregnant in January. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I've already started taking my prenatal vitamins to get my body ready for trying to conceive. I've been doing a lot of research on like what you should do to prepare your body for a baby and to prepare your body to conceive and to try to get pregnant, because I really don't want anything else holding us back. I mean, I will be 29 on Sunday, and I'm just like, I am not getting any younger. So I want it to work within like the first few times that we try. I don't want to sit there waiting years and years and years trying to get pregnant and then it doesn't happen. So, here's hoping for the best. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for January. Oh my gosh. I'm very excited. I've gone to stores and I've been doing a lot of research just of how much everything costs for the baby, because my husband is we are not doing a baby shower. I'm like, why? He's like, 'cause I don't want gifts from people. He's like, if we can't support our own child, we have no business having one. He does not think that necessarily for everybody, but for us, he's like, look, we've made our own way. We've been able to do everything ourselves. He's like, I think this is another thing that we just need to be able to do completely by ourselves. And I'm like, okay, I get that. He's like, I was like, okay. I was like, but we're still going to have a party. I was like, I still want us to have some sort of party. And he's like, that's fine. We can have a party. He's like, I just don't want to make people feel like they're forced to bring us gifts. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's fine. And I think that's the big part of it. I really don't think, because he's like, I don't care if other people want gifts at their baby showers. He's like, I just don't want them at mine. He's like, I don't want people to feel obligated that they have to bring something. He's like, I think that's kind of wrong. He's like, I'm not going to do that to people. He's like, because I know that we still have friends that can't necessarily afford all those things. And some people ask for stuff on a baby registry. It's like $300. And it's like, some people just can't afford that. So he really doesn't want to make people feel obligated to do that. So we're just going to have a big party. We might still be like, yeah, bring diapers. Or something like that. Something simple and small. But everything else, no. We're just going to kind of, do that ourselves. And just, take it from there. And I feel like that's just everybody's personal decision. I've known a lot of friends who haven't had baby showers at all, whether it be because they just don't want to, or because they don't want the gifts, or because they're kind of the same way as us and they don't want to make people feel obligated to get them a gift. So, I feel like that's a very new thing now that's kind of coming to light in our society, is a lot of people are just like, no, like, I want to do it myself. Or they're just like, I don't want to make people feel obligated. And that's a big part of us. We just don't want to make people feel obligated or forced. So, yeah. But I cannot wait. I cannot wait for us to start trying. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. So, and trust me, I will take you guys through the entire journey, because I know this is going to be super long if I had to take y'all through this journey of 2 freaking years. But hopefully it will not be 2 years. Hopefully it will just be really, really short. And, maybe a few videos down the line, I can be like, hey, surprise, look, I'm pregnant, that would be awesome. So we will see. And guys, I know this video is so long, but I had to catch you up on so much because I haven't been able to record in so freaking long. But I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I know I don't edit my videos like a normal person, where I'm cutting together and splicing stuff together. I just get on here and I just talk. I prefer it that way, and I'm also not very good with editing. And 2, I don't have a lot of time to edit. So, yeah. Sadly, time is honestly a huge factor for me. I just don't have the time to do it. Hopefully one day I can sit down and just go through and just study of how to edit all this stuff the way I want it to be, because there are ways that I want stuff to be and I can't do it yet because I have to either download stuff or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not going to get all into that. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And also, hello to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. I really hope that you enjoy my videos. I will be checking out your guys' videos too, because I know a lot of y'all are either women who are in the similar situation of I am, of trying to get pregnant, or you already have children and you're doing, mom type channels and stuff, and that's so awesome. I can't wait to check out all y'all's videos and see everything. Plus, I'm sure y'all can teach me a lot of things that I'm gonna need to know. So, just so excited. I'm so pent up with anxiety, but happy anxiety of all this stuff. I'm just ah. So, Anyway, guys, I will talk to you later. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.